I don't see a lot of talk about neopronouns and xenopronouns. I also don't see people using them in the way that they're intended, and also as a derogatory thing. So, I kind of just wanted to give my own personal background on neo and xenopronouns, my experiences using them, and a lot of the misunderstandings that come along with them. So, please bear with me. So, neo and xenopronouns are a very interesting topic, and I feel like it's also a very misunderstood topic, as people don't really take the time to research and do a little background on this. So let me try and explain to you the differences between xeno and neopronouns. So neopronouns are basically already existing words that are being used in place of a pronoun. So basically anything outside of he, she, they, it, its, things that are actual pronouns. Xenopronouns are things that are not exactly derived from actual human vernacular and language, so it's a non-existent word that is being used in place of a pronoun. So these both regard pronouns. They usually have gender identity apart or adjacent to it. But yeah, if you've been on my channel or have checked the channel bar at the top and are subscribed, you'll see that I use murmurs, and those are in front of, they and he. So I guess I kind of just wanted to explain that a little bit and how to use them. And obviously my experience with neo and xeno pronouns is different from other people, so it's always nice to just be respectful and ask the person about them first and whatnot. So I started using neo and xeno pronouns, I want to say a little over 2 years ago now, maybe like 2-ish years. And it started with a very large list of neo-xeno pronouns. Murmurs derived from mermaid. Those were my original, main neopronouns, though I think mer would count as a xenopronoun. Don't quote me on that. I also had a bunch of different neopronouns listed on their emoji neopronouns also. That was during my Everskies time. Or I wasn't going by mer at the time I was on Everskies. But then that kind of started to become like a name alongside a neopronoun. So I started using mer as a name, and then it just kind of stuck. So I've been mer for the past 2 years. So that's just kind of my own background on it. And obviously it's a little bit different in the way that I use neopronouns, xenopronouns. I use them in place of me and my, which are also pronouns. It's just not the average pronouns people are using to replace. So you'll see me use them when typing in a non-formal manner. But obviously when I'm talking, it's very difficult to integrate into vernacular. So it's more of an online and personal use. I don't expect other people to use those. It's just for my own comfortability and form of expression. You do not need to use them. I can use they, I can use he just fine. Anything works. So that's basically my personal background on neopronouns and xenopronouns. But again, it varies on the person. Usually, at least from my experience, people who use neo and xenopronouns also have normal pronouns attached. Sometimes just for preferred use, it's neopronouns, but they'll also have normal pronouns for people who don't know how to use them. That's usually the case for me, is they're just kind of there for my own use, and in specific spaces I'm comfortable with, I'll use them with people. It's not really a formal setting use, and yeah. But again, it varies on the person. Some people are specific neo-xeno pronoun only users, and yeah, again, it really just varies. And I think I see a lot of misconceptions on the use of neo and xeno pronouns, specifically with people thinking that people who use those types of pronouns identify as animals, which is a very common transphobic rhetoric that's spread around with like, oh, you know, I'm used cat self and I identify as a cat and I use a litter box. That is not a thing. People who use neo-Xeno pronouns don't believe that they're like animals. Come on. And it's, I feel like, a common thing that also happens in different communities that are alienated or considered weird by the average person. So I'm just gonna clear that up. That's not how it is, like, at all. I just think that it's a little bit weird to discourage and bar away different types of people within communities for their, like, specific differences in gender identity and expression, because, again, most homophobic, transphobic people are not going to like us anyways, so I don't really understand, you know, the tension between communities for that. And I've always just kind of had a unique experience with identity and self-expression, and that's just one of the ways I channel it, is through online use and occasional in real life use. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. If you have any cool neo-Xeno pronouns, I'd love to hear them. I think there's some really unique ones out there, and I'm like, man, that one was really cool. Keep using that. And yeah, that's basically it. If you do have any questions on how some neo-Xeno pronouns are used, I'd be happy to clarify, I'd be happy to explain. I think it's really important to just kind of spread positive awareness on things and educate, because some people just genuinely don't know or don't have the resources to look for it and then end up misconceptualizing it. So yeah,